ladies, and welcome to this week's training. What I want to do this week is sort of clarify some of the terms that you might hear flung around the fitness industry or within your emails or on your workout sheets so that you are very clear about what these terms mean and you know how to use them properly. Now, I think most of us know the difference between a set and a repetition. So the repetition is how many times you're going to do the exercise within a specific set. And how many sets you do within your workout are, so if you're going to do 10 reps, okay, and you have 4 sets, you're going to do 10 reps 4 times, okay? So that's the indication of what a set means versus what a rep means. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the different types of sets that you have come across or that you will be coming across soon, either this week or soon in your training. So we are familiar right now with the superset. We do a lot of those currently. So what that means is generally you're pitting 2 different exercises against each other. So you might do an upper body and a lower body. That way you train the upper body, it gets to rest while you're doing your lower body exercise, and then you're going to come back up and do your upper body exercise. So that would be like your A1 and A2, right? And those are called supersets because that way you're supersetting each exercise against each other, and that way you can sort of maximize your rest time, okay? The next thing that I wanted to talk about is straight sets because they are coming up in future workouts. And what that means is you don't have an A1 or A2. You just do the A exercise, and you're going to complete all of the sets with the recommended rest all at once. So you might just be doing all squats. And this just really puts the focus on the particular exercise that you're working on. And you don't have to go from one exercise to another. All you do is your squat, you take your rest, you do your squat, you fulfill the amount of sets, okay? The next thing that you might see soon is what's called a drop set. So what that is for example, your first set, you might have 5 reps in that set. The second set, you're going to have 4 reps. The third set, you're going to have 3, etc. Okay, so that just means that you're dropping down each set. Okay, so that is what I wanted to talk about in terms of sets so that we're really clear what is a repetition and what is a set, if it's a superset, a straight set, or a drop set. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is what is called metabolic conditioning. Okay, it's kind of a fancy term. It seems like it might be a little scientific and cool to hear it, and it's great for fat loss, but it's not necessarily just a thing on its own. It's more like an umbrella, right? Metabolic conditioning, you can do metabolic workouts, but what does that mean, right? Generally, what it does is it's a bout of some kind of more intense exercise followed by rest. And with the aim to boost your metabolism after your workout, right? Which is called EPOC. That is the amount of oxygen you're going to burn after your workout because of the intense work that you did during your workout, okay? And when you do that and you burn more oxygen, that elevates your metabolism and keeps you burning more calories after your workout is finished, okay? So what are the different kinds of metabolic conditioning? We have been doing HIIT, so high intensity interval training, since day 1. If you did the 28-day transformation or if you started right in the club, we've always been doing HIIT workouts. I like to use stairs and sprints predominantly, but we have used hill work, we have used the bike, we've used a bunch of different varieties of HIIT, and what that means is one interval of really hard work followed by an interval of rest, and you continue that for an allotted period of time, which is generally no more than 20 minutes, okay? So you guys are all really familiar with that. But the second one that I wanted to talk about was circuit training, and some of you have had some experience with circuit training, so you know what it's like. It's pretty intense. That's like taking a set, and you might have an A1 through 5, okay? So you're doing 5 exercises. You do each one in a circuit with very little rest, and after you've completed all of them, then you take a longer rest, okay? This is meant to get in a lot of intense work, and it kind of moves through the body parts. It's usually antagonistic sort of movements that she might do against each other. So a push, a pull with the upper body, a push, a pull with the lower body, and a core movement. You try to get a little bit of everything in there so you can maximize that time, get the most intensity out of your workout, and then have the rest later. So it's kind of like working with an interval in that you work, and then you take your rest, okay? So that's what your circuit training is like. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is compounds. So if you have already completed the first fat loss workout, you're familiar with compound workouts, whether you know it or not. What this means is you are compounding movements. So you might have a squat into an overhead press, or any of the different movements that we've done, maybe a lunge, and when you come up you overhead press, or you go down into a push-up and do half a burpee, come on up, do a squat, do a snatch. Anything where you're incorporating more than one movement becomes a compound movement, because there's lots of there's more than one exercise involved, and a lot of muscles involved, right? So you might be using all of the big ones. If you're doing a squat to a push press, then you're hitting two really big movements that incorporate a lot of your musculature within your body, okay? So doing those as well is considered metabolic conditioning, simply because it's intense. You're getting your heart rate up really, really quickly, and after your workout, because of that oxygen consumption, your EPOC that I was talking about, your metabolism is raised for hours, up to 72 hours after these kinds of workouts. That's why they're so effective. That's why they're so much fun. That's why they're so much, they're so great for fat loss, okay? So I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity on both the kinds of sets that we've been working with, and also a little bit about metabolic conditioning. If you hear this term, it's kind of popular these days. If you're wondering if it is part of your workouts, you now know. I certainly do try and keep everything as cutting edge as possible so that we can get the best results for everybody. If you have any questions, please pop them into either an email or on the Facebook group. I hope this has been informative, and I hope that you have a fabulous week. Thanks.